Genetically modified foods. Genetically modified foods are the result of two species' DNA being sliced together. Genetically modified foods create molecules that the body doesn't know. Genetically modified foods have the ability to tamper with your DNA. Genetically modified foods cause cancer.
Think about the impact of your food choices on your family's health. Today, I'll discuss the hidden dangers of our modern diet, such as processed foods, GMOs, and misleading labels. It is not about striving for perfection, but about making meaningful improvements. Let's examine how these foods affect us and create practical strategies to improve our health and well-being. Genetically modified foods have sparked heated debate because of their potential health risks. Concerns include the development of chemicals that our bodies may not recognize.
What's also causing damage in the DNA is chemicals. It is estimated that we are introduced to 30,000 every year.
The possibility of altering our DNA, and even accusations that they cause cancer. So, what exactly is cancer? Cancer develops when cells change and multiply uncontrollably. Many of these mutations are caused by changes in our DNA. Some believe that genetically modified foods contribute to DNA changes that cause cancer. This is only one source of concern, as other elements also have a role.
What's cancer? Cancer is a mutation of the cells. What causes the mutation of the cell? The mutation in the DNA. What causes the mutation in the DNA? Genetically modified food can do that, and so can these other things.
A recent example is genetically modified fish, which has been brought onto the market. It is worth mentioning that genetically modified versions of numerous regularly consumed foods, especially fruits, have grown in popularity. Many people have said that its fruits, such as strawberries, appear manufactured. For example, a strawberry that appears perfect on the outside may be unusually pale on the inside, indicating that it has been genetically modified. These observations have raised worries regarding the authenticity and safety of the food we consume. Also, I need your assistance working this out. Why are my strawberries white inside? Seriously, they appear wonderful on the exterior, but on the inside they're not even red, as if they're not totally ripe or something. And things grow worse. I cut up watermelon for my kids and they all turn their noses up, saying it has an odd feel. I couldn't believe it when I saw it for myself. It's like a rubbery watermelon. It doesn't even break apart properly, and it feels fake. To make matters worse, I came across a blueberry that refused to split apart. I picked it up and it made a funny noise. I sliced it in two and it appeared to be composed of silicone. This is from a carton of blueberries I purchased, and I'm startled. Why are there rubbery artificial fruits in my toddler's snacks? It's really got me wondering what's in our meals. Genetically modified foods require modifying plant genes to improve their qualities. This procedure, which is strictly regulated for safety, aims to reduce pesticide use, boost productivity, and battle hunger through vitamin fortification. However, when you read food labels, you may notice a list of components that sound more like chemical jargon than familiar foods. Much of this is intended to preserve the food's appearance, color, and texture, so that it does not decay or degrade quickly. For example, if you leave a fresh tomato on your desk for a week, it will begin to rot and degrade. However, the processed tomato products found in cans or jars are stable and unchanging. The science behind these modifications is complex, but it is important to understand what is in our food and how it has been transformed. Chemistry, not magic, is what allows some goods to lie on the shelf for 2 years. This chemistry is gradually harming our health, potentially shortening our lifespans, and contributing to the obesity epidemic. The food we assume is nourishing us may potentially be harmful. It's not only junk food today. Many so-called healthy options are equally deceiving.
Is the substances that are broken down in the body after eating genetically modified foods are not known in the body and have the ability to tamper and even damage our DNA.
Consider this. The average supermarket stocks about 40,000 products, but the majority of these products are owned by only a few global businesses. Remember when food was produced on farms rather than in factories?
The farmer knows that he cannot let his cattle graze under those huge towers because stillborns will be a result, even deformities in the little calves.
Now let's get into GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. These sound like something out of a science fiction novel, yet they're extremely real and have a big influence on what we eat. Despite being banned in over 60 countries, genetically modified organisms may nonetheless be present in your pantry. In the United States, these lab-created crops remain frequently used. Interestingly, Russian President Vladimir Putin has taken a firm stance against GMOs.
Did you know that Vladimir Putin, the Russian's president, he's passed a law that any Russian who grows or sells genetically modified foods is to be considered a terrorist. Whew. He's even giving land away to Russians who will grow food organically, non-GMO. You put his name and GMO in Google that and you'll read the spiel. He says, we Russians look across at the West, over-vaccinated, over-medicated, overfed, sitting in front of boxes every night in their lounge rooms, eating food that has no nutrients, he said, and we know it's weakening the West. Is he right? Absolutely right, yeah. Unfortunately, Monsanto is so powerful and so wealthy and so big, they win every court case where Australians want GMO to be labelled on the products. Happens in America too, it's unfortunate. So how do you know? Well, you don't, unless you buy organic. You see, if an organic farmer uses genetically modified seed, they lose their organic status. So grow as much as you can yourself. And the more Aussies that buy organic, the more organic will be available. One organic tomato will give you 9 times the iron of a conventionally grown tomato. So you get much more value for your money, even though organic is more expensive.
Introducing laws labeling anyone who grows or sells genetically engineered foods as a terrorist. He's even offered property to Russians who want to cultivate organic, non-GMO food. Putin has criticized the West for being over-vaccinated, over-medicated, and overfed, implying that our reliance on nutrient-deficient food is harming us. He could have a point. According to a study published in the Journal of Environmental Sciences Europe, glyphosate use on GMO crops increased from 360,000 kilograms in 1974 to 12.5 million kilograms in 2014. 3,372% growth. A large amount of glyphosate winds up in our food, and the effects don't stop there. From artificial colors related to hyperactivity in youngsters to preservatives that may contribute to a premature death, our food frequently resembles a chemical mixture that would make any scientist blush. For example, a 2021 assessment by the California Environmental Protection Agency found that synthetic food dyes can induce or worsen behavioral difficulties in certain youngsters. However, these dyes are still widely used in the United States, despite the fact that many of these compounds have been prohibited or require warning labels in nations such as the United Kingdom. And speaking of additives, let's talk about the white stuff, sugar. It's found in everything from breakfast cereal to so-called nutritious yogurt, and it's not a coincidence. For decades, the food industry has recognized sugar's addictive properties. They've precisely developed their products to achieve the ideal bliss point that keeps you coming back for more. It's not just a lack of willpower that causes you to grab for the second or third cookie. It's the science of addiction working against you. It's more than simply science, it's working against you. Excess sugar has been related to a variety of health concerns, including cancer. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine discovered that sugar can be just as addictive as cocaine, triggering the same reward pathways in the brain. On average, Americans consume 52 pounds of sugar each year, which equates to 6 cups of sugar per week. You might believe that reading labels will keep you safe, but the food business is skilled at being fake. Terms like natural flavors could refer to everything from beaver anal glands to petroleum compounds. Multigrain could just be white bread, with a few seeds sprinkled on top. A study published in the journal Appetite discovered that low-fat goods frequently had similar calorie counts to their full-fat counterparts, owing to additional sweeteners. Despite this, customers frequently perceive low-fat products as healthy, resulting in bigger portions. Here's a terrifying thought. You could eat a whole day's worth of calories and yet be malnourished. Why? Because our soil is becoming depleted. Our fruits and vegetables are frequently cultivated for shelf life rather than nutritional value, and processing removes what few nutrients remain. Organic tomatoes, for example, can contain 9 times more iron than conventionally cultivated tomatoes, making them a far better value despite their greater price. A research study published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition looked at USDA nutritional data for 43 different fruits and vegetables between 1950 and 1999. The study discovered significant decreases in key nutrients such as protein, calcium, phosphate, iron, riboflavin, vitamin B2, and vitamin C over the last 50 years. Let's also talk about your gut, which is a critical component of your general health. Many common food chemicals are destroying your microbiota, increasing allergies and autoimmune illnesses.
Your gastrointestinal tract is about 8 meters long. It starts at the mouth and it ends up at the other end. And we're going to have a look at what happens to the food on the plate, to break it down to microscopic little particles that then can get absorbed into the blood.
One of the less well-known effects of sugar is its inflammatory effect on the body. It not only causes inflammation, but it also changes your gut's microbiome, which contains beneficial bacteria that play an important part in your health. These healthy bacteria account for approximately 80% of your immune system. So when they are affected, your immune system weakens, making you more prone to illnesses. Processed meals, vegetable oils rich in omega-6 fatty acids, and yes, sugar all contribute to inflammation. It's as if we're walking around with a slow-burning fire inside of us filling with petrol 3 times a day. And it is not just our bodies that are in pain. Our existing food system is also damaging the environment. Monoculture crops, factory farming, and long-distance food transportation contribute to climate change, water pollution, and soil degradation. Companies like Monsanto have enormous power and cash, frequently winning court fights that block GMO labeling, not only in Australia but also in the United States. So how do you keep yourself and your children safe from this dietary nightmare? The remedy may be simpler than you realize. Consume actual food. If your great-grandmother would not recognize it as food, it most likely isn't. Eat complete meals as much as possible and cook at home. When you make your own meals, you have complete control over the ingredients. There are no hidden sweets or odd chemicals. Support local farmers by going to farmers' markets and participating in community-supported agriculture. These selections offer fresh, nutrient-dense food. Even if you have limited space, growing your own food can help you reconnect with your diet. Examine labels critically. If you can't pronounce an ingredient, think carefully before eating it. Choose nutrient-dense foods that provide the best nutritional value for your money, such as leafy greens, berries, and pastured eggs. Include fermented foods and bone broth in your diet to improve intestinal health. Reducing sugar intake is critical, so begin by eliminating sugary drinks and desserts. Educate yourself and others. Knowledge is powerful. The more we learn about our food chain, the better decisions we can make. I know this technique may appear difficult, costly, and time-consuming, but consider this. Chronic disease and healthcare costs are far more frightening. Begin by making one change at a time. Changing your eating habits is not simple. Your taste buds, family, and even your doctor may object. But the benefits are enormous. More energy, better sleep, nicer skin, a sharper mind, and a body capable of coping with life. The choice is yours. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family so they may also benefit from these valuable thoughts. Thank you for watching.